just starting out on my way to work. I had to jam the camera in here, so you're gonna get some camera shake as I drive. Just because the roads, potholes are epic. I was thinking about how, so I'm into permaculture, trying to learn as much as I can and apply that to our spot right here in the suburbs on a third of an acre that has terrible light. So the growing space we've got is not fantastic, and I have to chop down my neighbor's trees to really be able to use it, which is not an option. So I'm experimenting with growing in spots where I can and doing small scale stuff really, but trying to get my knowledge amped up, because you don't need a lot of space to gain knowledge when it comes to gardening. You really just need practice and time. My thinking was this. It's March in Minnesota. We're getting crap tons of precip. We're basically getting several inches of snow. It seems like every 3 to 4 days, which is not, I mean, like, we're a cold climate, but the past 20 years really, we've had a huge deficit of snow. It's been very dry overall, like El Nino winters where it's dry, less precip. As a cross-country skier, I was painfully aware of this because most winters I was on man-made snow or traveling to get on snow at all, and racing was really difficult. But by March, we'd get into melty stuff, we'd get some big snowstorms here and there, but overall, we'd get some sun, and I could often be out training on my bike. Now, that's pretty tough to do, and this season in particular, it's mimicking the past 2 springs, early springs, where we get these warm bubbles over the Arctic, and what happens then, hold on, I gotta drive. There we go. We get these warm bubbles over the Arctic, and those bubbles screw up the jet stream over the northern hemisphere, basically. So you get these waves, they're called Rossby waves, and it's like a 2-week pattern. I've noticed this over and over and over. You get a 2-week pattern, and whatever it is, you're just stuck in it. And right now we're getting these big moisture-laden storms out of the Gulf, and they crash into stuff coming right off the Pacific. So the atmospheric rivers that are hitting California are kind of basically coming right over the Rockies to us. And if that's not happening, we get like a cold shift down from the Arctic, northern Canada, which we should, that's normal. And we get these big moisture plumes coming up out of the Gulf. And that's got more moisture in it because climate change, and the water is warmer. Then they crash into us. So the 2 streams meet right over the Midwest, and we're stuck in this pattern since December, really, where we're getting lots of snow. Some winters we're hard pressed to get 30 some inches of snow, and this one we're already, I think we're at 70 inches, which that's a lot of snow for this area, particularly since we haven't melted off much of it. And we get like 2 inches of snow, and we got 5 in my area. And by, what's today, Tuesday? By Thursday night, we've got another winter storm moving in, which that one's supposed to be half a foot of snow again. Here's my thinking. We're not far away from a climate event where something gets screwed up and we just don't have a growing season. Like, we're already getting frost patterns where we lose an apple crop, say. Like, we get a late frost in May, later even, and everything that set flower and was pollinated gets nuked. This has happened several times in this area. It's been interesting, sad, but interesting to talk with farmers who've been nipped by this. That can take out your entire crop. And so, atmospherically, the climate we've relied on for agriculture is destabilizing. We don't have reliable patterns of precip. At a certain point, we transitioned from it just being weather to it being a climactic change, and I think we're at that point. We've been at that point for a while. The way we raise crops in a monoculture is extremely susceptible to this. Minnesota last season had a second summer of drought, and we got lucky because north and south of here we did have enough precip for corn and soybeans to grow and get to the point of being harvestable. However, Minnesota is not a state that has irrigation. We are not set up for that. We are relying on water from rain to take care of our crops. The minute that stops, we get something like a Dust Bowl 2.0. We're in deep doo-doo. So here's my thinking and why I think permaculture is so important. The more of us who learn how to grow and learn how to do that in a regenerative manner, where we're actually improving our soils, we're actually using waste products in order to improve our area that we're farming or growing on, the more of us are likely to have success with raising food. The more likely we are to have success. I think we're facing down a situation that's going to be very much like the victory gardens we grew during World War II, needing to do that because without that we would have food shortages because we didn't have enough energy to commit to crop growing. We're going to be facing that on a climate scale. So I encourage you to check out permaculture. It mimics ecology. So we're just looking at a system in nature that out of necessity recycles everything and builds everything from matter already in that system. See what you can start experimenting with right now, because the farther ahead you are on this, before things get even weirder, the better off we're going to be. All right, those are my thoughts.